Protesters are back on the streets of Greece as workers go on strike across the country. They are voicing their anger at the prospect of more wage cuts and pension reforms. The government is set to vote on further austerity measures later this month. Greece has been here before, hit by repeated strikes amid Eurozone pressure to get its financial house in order. Greece is already receiving $158 billion in rescue loans, which kept it from going bankrupt last year. Despite all the spending cuts, Athens may need more Eurozone support to meet financial obligations next year. Well, EU officials are in Athens to review how the debt-stricken country is coping before handing over any more money. CNN's Reuben is with us now to take us deeper into Greece's ongoing debt crisis. How likely is it, Emily, that the EU would actually say, OK, here's more money?
Pretty unlikely. I mean, that actually goes to the heart of this problem, which is political, because the EU and the IMF have bailed out Greece before. But the problem with this is that there is rising Euroscepticism amongst many European countries. And whereas last year it was a struggle for Angela Merkel to persuade the German population to allow a further bailout to Greece, this year it's very different. Don't forget, last month we had the electoral success of the True Finns, the Eurosceptic party in Finland. And I think that represents a growing rise in Euroscepticism. In the countries in Northern Europe, where the wealth is coming from, there's also recession and depression there, and their voters are saying to the governments, well, why should we be bailing out Greece when they can't even get their finances in order?
It begs the question, what is Athens doing? Is this a problem that's just too big for any country to handle, or are they doing something that's just fundamentally wrong?
Well, some analysts believe that Greece should never have been allowed into the Eurozone because the economy just wasn't strong enough. I think one of the problems facing Greece, one of the major challenges for the government, is that the cost of interest that they're paying on some of these loans is just very, very high. And that's one of the things that the strikers are calling for today. They're saying, why should our wages be cut so that we can pay extortionate interest rates to banks across Europe? Now, so one argument is that they introduce a haircut, which means that some of the banks write off some of the debt to Greece. The banks clearly don't want to do this. They say this could precipitate an even huger crisis, because what would happen is they would have to find that capital from elsewhere and they'd have to seek bailouts from their banks. So, I mean, this strike really, I suppose we can't really underestimate the anger, the sense of anger on the streets of Greece, because public sector workers really feel like they are bearing the brunt of these cuts. They've already seen wages fall 25%, changes in pensions, that sort of thing. So I think there's real genuine anger on the streets of Greece, but also an acknowledgement that something has to be done, because the government is, the main worry is the government will not be able to pay back those loans.
And as you were saying, of course, the workers that are out striking right now, they're the ones that are having to bear the brunt of it. But as a result of them striking, what kind of impact is that having on, I guess, the social system within the country, such as airports, schools, hospitals, all that?
Well, I mean, the whole public sector has closed down. Public services are at a standstill. There's even a media blackout. Journalists have gone out on strike. Hospitals are operating at skeleton staff. Dock workers have stopped working. Teachers, doctors. So this really is a nationwide strike. And it's been called by the two largest unions. And I wouldn't be surprised if, there's much more of this to come, because Greece is nowhere near at the end of this problem.
OK, Emily, thank you very much. You're watching World One live from London.